Today, cancer is the most deadly disease that we have. But it's predicted that by 2050, bacterial infection will actually be the most prominent problem. Because antibiotics are no more efficient against those bacteria. Which brings me to phages. Not only they have the most abundant species on Earth, but also they are the natural predator of those bacteria. So they are viruses. So imagine like a computer virus. They will bind to the bacteria, they will inject their genomic code inside the bacteria and hijack the system. Then they will just replicate and spread. And on the way, they will kill the bacteria. So this is something that we can use to actually complete antibiotic treatment or even as an alternative to antibiotic treatment. But before using them, we need to study them. So I am a mad scientist, as my partner say, and so I work on the isolation, on the characterization, propagation of those phage. However, one important thing is that we need to know what is in the genetic code. Because if we don't know, we might accidentally introduce a gene that will be harmful for the patient. So we really need to study those sequences. And usually those sequences are stored in semi-structured text file. And they are really messy because some of the annotations are made by hand. Depending on the pipeline you are using, you don't really get exactly the same type of information in those files. So they are inconsistent, and sometimes they are even incomplete. So this is where the data challenge comes. We need to have something that can help us to work with those files. Also, one of the big problems with bioinformatics pipeline is that they are really lengthy. So sometimes we will start a pipeline to get your result, your analysis 1 hour later, or sometimes even just find out that something went wrong in the pipeline, that one file had the wrong information, or something not well localized, and then it failed, which is very frustrating. And another thing is also the portability, because when you are taking the plane to go to a conference and your colleagues say, hey, by the way, could you just help me to generate this graph for tomorrow? And you need to be able to run the pipeline locally on your machine, as you will also be able to run it on a hyper-performant computing environment. So this is what brings us to the Synfage software. So we designed this software in order to enable the safe use of the phage and maybe a most efficient use of them for phage therapy. So the idea of this software is to allow to analyze a big collection of genomic sequences of those phage in one blow. And so we need to first extract all the data from those messy semi-structured files. Then we need to look for collinearity on the genes, so part of the sequence. And then we need to gather all those results, to parse them, to put them all together in order to get some kind of graphical visualization that the end user will be able to use to do his analysis and check what is actually in the genome. So the first version of the pipeline, I can tell you, was very slow. We had a lot of problems because of this inconsistency in the files. We every time have to rewrite a piece because something was missing. So now Herminio is going to tell you how DuckDB actually saved the software and help us to make it faster and way more reliable.
Thank you, Virginie. Thank you, Virginie, for introducing us to your research project. I can see the excitement of the audience jumping into bioinformatics or playing Jenga with viruses. But let's switch gears a little bit. So I will try to explain in problem solution how DuckDB enabled Synphage to be a more reliable and a faster bioinformatic product. Let's start just pondering about what is bioinformatics as an industry. It's a very fragmented ecosystem. It's based on multiple tools. It's always file-based. You literally grab one file and pass it through multiple tools until you get to the point where you can perform analysis. DuckDB allows to change the unit of work. You don't look into files anymore. the unit of work can be a folder. It's actually a database. It's a complete different perspective. On the other hand, we have the antithesis of parallelism, Python loops. You can actually perform lateral joins, semi-joins, anti-joins, and that allows us to run, and perhaps not, as a previous speaker mentioned, of hours, but all this compounded effect of optimizations help us to level up the experience of the researchers and the scientists. On the other hand, we have deeply nested JSONs, surprising on the industry. But again, through schema inferences and sampling, we remove the human in the loop to not having researchers spend time trying to understand the schemas. On the other hand, we have also large string gene sequences, from which computing in a local environment is easy, but then, as Virginie mentioned, moving those workloads into a HPC or high-performance computing environment should be seamless. You don't get the luxury of installing all your toys on these big machines. So you have to go this lineage of sovereignty of the products that you use, and that's something that we need to take in consideration as well. Who doesn't love wide data frames? I think asset managers, biologists, they really like is the pinnacle of analytics, right? One big table in which you can make inferences and develop features and understand those. DuckDB offers macros and column expressions that basically bring simplicity and readability. Let's look into some examples. What you see on the screen is one of the critical steps of analyzing sequences or gene sequences. This is the friends of Virginie, these little cute things that you already have in your hands, by the way, right now. First, wildcards. Once again, your unit of work, it's a bunch of files. Look, no loops. So there's no Python loops. No human in the loop. We have metadata extracted. We can make inferences right there. And we have even algebraic operations, again, on shorter strings or larger genomes. And finally, that blast, stop, hit macro. So we obfuscate all the magic of getting the best match, or it's a similarity search. Basically, she's playing about how can I find the most similar genome so that I can plot it, so that I can get my next grant. Okay, next. Beyond just the queries, there is also other classes of problems that DuckDB help us to improve the project. Number one, analysis at your fingertips. GC content in genome, it's about identifying the nucleotides on your sequences. You have scalability. Some researchers will have larger phages to analyze, and some of them will have libraries of phages to analyze. So it's important that we have the scalability in our pocket, whether it's files or table formats. Portability. You will see articles over and over recalling the same challenges in science today, which is reproducibility. How do we tackle that? A single binary. Portable workloads that you can take literally on your pocket. As researchers and scientists, and even as data practitioners, I think time is a scarce resource. So it's important that you have your engines that will speak for yourself, right? So the quality of life for anybody working with data, it's about how do you want to spend your time. And last but not least is the support decay. I think there is also a lot of projects that are started, and perhaps for maintainers or principal investigators taking a position in industry, or lack of funding, they decide to compromise continuity. Some examples on this field, it's about what I mentioned. For instance, a verification of distributions that you can have now in DuckDB CLI through the histogram function. You can actually verify from discrete or categorical variables as well as continuous variables. And there you have it. Or this is probably the culmination. This was the last part of the pipeline that allows to put sequence over sequence of genomes and find the collinearity in these so-called synteny diagrams. Once again, exacerbating the value of how we were able to arrive there is through column expressions. This will help us to do join operations, put things side by side so that they can be comparable, and find that information that was valuable for all the scientists. With this, we arrive to this critical moment. Every minute you save waiting for a workload is closer to a publication or a discovery, perhaps your next grant. The project is called Synfage. It's an open source project. If you want to have one of these viruses in a sticker, you can come and talk to Virginie afterwards if you fancy one. And being an academic project, it's very important for us to acknowledge the organizations that have funded, including the biotechnical faculty in the Ljubljana University and also the European Resource Council, as well as the Dragos Lab. And especially thanks to Dog Labs to help us and to invite us to share our DuckDB journey with you guys today. Thank you very much.